And down the stretch they come. Welcome to the College Football Show presented by AT&T, and welcome to November. The air is a little bit cooler outside. The rivalry is, of course, heating up across college football. Conference title and playoff races are kind of hanging in the balance here, as we will talk about all of the action in Week 11 today, alongside former NFL QB Matt Sims. Scooby Mageza is here as well. I am Sam Ravitch. Folks, you've got comments, you've got questions, we've got answers. Maybe you don't like them, but please, we're going to throw up a QR code right there on your screen. Please scan that and submit your questions and comments to us. We would love to interact with you as the show goes along. But without further ado, we will start the show off like we always do every single week with 15 minutes of uninterrupted highlights. Scooby, would you please do the honors?
It doesn't get much better than that, especially when we start off with a game like this, where Oregon was on the road against one of the best defenses in the country. Iowa, second ranked in the FBS in total defense, and they would test the Ducks. Early on, Iowa looking to punt. The snap goes over the punter's head, and he makes the right decision of just kicking it out, but it's 2-0. They get the safety, which would be huge. Second quarter, Oregon with the ball. De'Ari Hill sees the turn-up button and presses it twice. 19-yard touchdown. It's 9-0. Next drive, Hawkeyes looking to respond. Great play design. This is DJ Voname scoring as Iowa trails 9-7, and Oregon would tack on a field goal to make it 12-7. And then at halftime, you see the difference within yard totals. Oregon leading the way, but they were really leaning in towards the rushing attack, Matt.
Yes, sir, they absolutely were. And Noah Whittington, Davison, Dyer Hill, these guys played so physical today and really did it in Iowa today.
This was an Iowa football game, right? Wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, and Kirk Herbstreit on game day said Iowa would win the game 16-15. And what happened in the second half had us thinking he was psychic. All right, so jumping to the fourth. Hawkeyes trail 15-10. It's fourth down. They need to convert here.
He's wide open.
Gronkowski hits Reese Vanderzee for a huge gain. A few plays later, another fourth down. Gronkowski taking it in for the QB draw. Iowa takes a 16-15 lead after a failed two-point conversion. Now, 16-15 is a score that Kirk predicted. Gronkowski, the winningest QB in NCAA history, has a chance to get a big one here. And everyone was thinking, hey, Dante Moore, this is your opportunity to show us what you can do, as you're seeing right here with what the internet was saying. So Oregon trying to answer to avoid the upset. Dante Moore with his best throw of the day.
Unleash the Kraken.
Yes.
God.
What a throw, Matt.
There's nothing else to say other than that. It was beautiful.
Sappington would be huge here as he hits the 39-yard field goal to avoid a disaster in Iowa as the Ducks escape with an 18-16 win. This is the type of win that impresses me the most, quite frankly, because it's a dogfight. You know, if you're going into Kinnick Stadium, you're going to be in a low-scoring ball game, and the weather wasn't great. And they Oregon in this game.
Iowa, and you know what? Atticus Finch Sappington with the foot of justice to get the win for the Oregon Ducks. Is that not the best name in college football?
It's
Atticus
a great name.
Sappington?
Yeah, it's really good for kickers.
What a moment.
By the way, that safety came back to hurt him, right?
No doubt
the
it
difference
did.
in the game.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, too. And first of all, the first one should have gone over the punter's head, too.
Yes,
so they're lucky that they didn't have two safeties to start the football game. But you're right. That was a huge moment in the game.
All right, moving it along here. Top 25 showdown in Columbia, Missouri this afternoon. Undefeated and third-ranked A&M in town. Aggies looking to make a statement on the road.
Yes,
Texas A&M would strike first in this game in the red zone. Marcel Reed gets the ball out to Ashton Bethel-Roman for a 4-yard score. And the Aggies up 7-0 on the road. Make a statement they would as well. And they would do it on the defensive side. Matt Zollers is going to lose control of the ball here. And it goes behind him in the second quarter. Dalton Brooks is going to recover it at the 2-yard line. This was just a disastrous play.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's that defense for you. The turnover led to a 1-yard touchdown by E.J. Smith. Aggies would lead 14-0 going into the half there in Como. Power run game. I mean, it's a very balanced attack for Texas A&M.
It is.
They do it on the ground. They do it in the air with Marcel Reed as well. We'll go to the third quarter here. Aggies going to just build on that lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it all started from the fumble that Missouri had, and then getting the opportunity to kind of just pile it on from here on.
Screenplay there, Marcel Reed to Casey Concepcion. That's a 48-yard touchdown. How about a 21-0 start for the Aggies on the road?
You got to love those plays for a quarterback to throw the football behind the line of scrimmage and still get rewarded with a touchdown.
Yeah, they weren't out of it yet.
Nope, Tigers have arisen here.
Yeah.
Slow day on offense, but that's Jamal Roberts running it in. Missouri hopes to get back in this game and in a rhythm. We head to the fourth quarter. Aggies not letting up, though. Ruben Owens, we mentioned the balanced attack on the ground. 57 yards, finding pay dirt on this run.
I think this is the biggest thing you could take away from this football game, too, is Texas A&M finally getting really aggressive with their running attack, and Ruben Owens having his best performance of the year. Rushed for 243 yards as a team today. That is big time, and that is championship football when you can do that.
Had a good
Ruben Owens is huge in this game. 2 rushing touchdowns from the end of the game, but this made us think that, hey, wait a minute, they score here, all of a sudden,
a little tough score away. 31-17. That's Ahmad Hardy. Yep, he's got a 45-yard score there. But, and a big but here, Ruben Owens going to get his second rushing touchdown of the game, and that will do it for the Aggies. Texas A&M moves to 9-0 on the week 11. Final score 38-17. Here's head coach Mike Elko talking about how his team is different this year.
A year ago at this time, you said your team didn't finish the way that you wanted. Why is this group equipped to do so?
Yeah, I just think they're a mature group. I think they know what they want. We got great leadership. We got great players around here. And, we're going to go finish this thing the right way this year.
38-17, the final there. Marcel Reed, 221 through the air, also had a couple on the ground. Ruben Owens, another 100-yard game on the ground. Ahmad Hardy did his job, but
so
again,
Jamal Roberts, right? I mean, they ran the football as well for 200-plus yards. So a little surprising that Texas A&M was that leaky on the defensive front against this attack on the running game by the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, I will say Texas A&M is just a team that executes at all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah.
They had a fake punt in the when it was 21-7, and then that fake punt led to 24-7. And those are the things throughout a game that you got to be able to execute, and just show that you have the ability to hit you from all different type of directions.
No doubt.
And that's our boy, Marcel Reed. But let's change gears to the Big 12 now. BYU going to Lubbock to take on
huge
Texas
game
Tech.
this was. Get me pumped up, Coach.
Kalani Sitake motivating his team. Joey McGuire, the Big Mac himself, saying, damn it, we're good. Let's show them what we got. And here we go. Baron Morton. Low red zone, good rhythm pass here. He finds Caleb Douglas with a beautiful throw into the back corner of the end zone. The Red Raiders take the lead. We're going to fast forward to the third quarter now. And Bear Bachmeier doing Bear things, just throwing people off. Reversing field. Don't do that! Throws a lane over the middle. And Jacob Mustachio Rodriguez with the tip to himself for the interception.
Mustachio!
That would have resulted into a Red Raiders field goal. Stone Harrington 5 for 5 in the day. No big deal. In a defensive grudge match. Baron Morton here gives the football to Cameron Dickey. And this was a cap by a 9-play, 80-yard drive by the Texas Tech Red Raiders. That was a huge one. Here's Bear Bachmeier doing his best to get the team back into it. They only crossed midfield twice in this game. This is one of them.
That's right.
And they got a touchdown here to Chase Roberts for a 6-yard touchdown. Good job by Bear and Chase finding the end zone there. But just too little, too late in this one. A defensive grudge match, and Texas Tech enough of offense with Baron Morton. What a win for the Raiders at home.
Yeah, it was awesome. The energy of the crowd, our students were amazing today. So proud of them. And then I just felt like our guys made it about the football. You know, there's a lot of emotion whenever you're playing a game like this. They really care about each other. Like, our superpower is how much we love each other.
Does anybody say Texas football more than Joey McGuire?
I love it. I love it. I got to tell you, I love the way that he carries himself. And just like when you listen to the man speak, I'm just telling you right now, Coach, if you need me, I'll run through a wall for you. Right? But you don't need me because Baron Morton is playing phenomenal football. And he's got, what is it, a fracture in his fibula?
Fracture in his fibula, that's right, yeah.
My God, I mean.
Hairline fracture, hairline.
First, just the ability, though, for him to go out there and play like that. And you see him limping around the football field, but this Texas Tech defense, Baron Moore and his leadership, Cameron Dickey, right, 23 rushes there for 121. phenomenal performance. Really pumped to see Lubbock, right, on fire right now and a part of this playoff picture.
No question.
Yeah, absolutely great performance from their entire team, especially their defense. But we need to see the performance that Georgia put on against Mississippi State.
The Dogs.
One dog versus another dog. Pick us up in the second quarter. Mississippi State up 4. Gunnar Stockton. He's going to say, let me unleash my hand cannon and hit Elias Williams. Oh, that's a big man making a big grab. A few plays later, he's 6'7", by the way. Chauncey Bowens says, I want 6, so I'm going to make reservations for 6. Georgia takes a 10-7 lead. They were trailing early on, start, but then they put their foot on the gas, and they never let go. Stockton finds Oscar Dump, and he goes in for the touchdown. Georgia extends their lead to 10. You go to the third quarter now. Let me shout out the Dogs, because my guy DJ, I see you in the YouTube chat. Nate Frazier is going to take the handoff, and he's going to be gone. 59 yards to the hizzy. He had a huge game, no big deal. 12 carries for 181 yards. First Georgia running back with 180-plus since DeAndre Swift in 2018.
Ooh, that's good company to be with.
They're up 31-7. Next drive for the Dogs. Stockton finds, who's this?
Look at this
It's
little
Noah
play.
Thomas. I mean, he's
wide
doing
open.
whatever he wants in the pocket, doing a little twirl, doing a little dance, and Thomas just says, I'll take it to the crib, do a little dance as well. 64 yards. Georgia rose against the other Dogs. 41-21. The final, and I think what was the most impressive here is Georgia put the foot on the gas earlier. I still would like to see them start the game out hot and just continue to play at the level that we know that they can play. But otherwise, they're humming, and this is an opportunity where they could have looked ahead towards the Texas game next week against this Mississippi State team, but they did not.
I mean, what else to say? You can't count out Kirby Smart football team no matter what. And each week we find different reasons of, oh, they're not as good as they used to be, all that. And yet there they are with an 8-1 record. And I have all the faith in the world in their quarterback and Mike Bobo, right? I know Georgia fans.
Shout out.
I just said it. Mike Bobo's doing awesome. And Kirby Smart, man, just knows how to dial it up when it matters.
Most complete, maybe, Georgia game that we've seen. And this is a Mississippi State team that just beat Arkansas as well last week. So impressive despite the slow start. Finishing strong. That's kind of been the motto for the Georgia Bulldogs.
It absolutely has. And now let's go to Auburn, taking on Vanderbilt.
This was a good one.
Number 16, Vanderbilt, at First Bank Stadium there in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's Auburn's Tiger. I really don't know his name.
Aubie.
Oh, Aubie? Hey, good for you, Aubie. Seems like a simple enough name. That's right. Third quarter, Auburn leads 20-10. Cedric Alexander, 4-yard power run into the end zone. Auburn still leads 20-17. Later in the third quarter, Auburn 23-17. And Diego Pavia finds Trey Richardson. How did he get so open?
Where's the defense?
Defense was optional in this game, Sam. There was almost 1,000 total yards on the play. But
that's what we like watching that.
Very good.
Hey, Ashton Daniels, man. This dude played awesome today. 16-yard run around the edge there. Auburn takes back the lead 30-24. Fourth quarter now, Vanderbilt ball. Pavia calls his own number, and this is what I love about Pavia. Body punch. It doesn't matter. He just runs through it, spin the football, and look at him. He's just throwing money in the air. That wild man.
That's very Menzel-like.
And then here's Cedric Alexander, rushes in for a 9-yard touchdown. Vanderbilt extends the lead 38-30. Later in the fourth quarter.
This is the Cam Coleman show.
Ashton Daniels to Cam Coleman. I mean.
Oh, what a catch!
That's right.
I'll fight for it.
Well, let's watch it again. Let's watch every angle we have of this catch because it seems like this guy seems to do this every other week for this offense. Yeah, that guy, he can't believe it either. Holy shnikes.
And then another one.
And then here we go again.
Woo.
This one might even be even more impressive. The ability to adjust his body midair to catch that one-hander on the back shoulder, phenomenal. But first overtime, Pavia, little jump pass to Cole Spence. Cole Spence is just, I mean, unfortunately, if you had fantasy football, Cole Spence would be a first rounder because he's always in the end zone.
I'm really confused about how they set up this last series.
Good defensive call by Vanderbilt. They show cover 0. Ashton Daniels tries to throw the football to Cam Coleman. He's expecting one-on-one coverage. They drop to cover 2. They double up Cam Coleman in that low red zone area. Great execution by the Vanderbilt Commodores, and Auburn had no answer for it. That's how the game ends, 45-38. Survive and advance.
That's the name of the game right now.
That's right, baby.
Vandy stays alive in the playoff hunt as well, with some other top 25 teams falling. It'll be really interesting to see what the committee does with Vanderbilt. Close win at home against an Auburn team that has struggled woefully so far this year. But nevertheless, a good win, and a win at that. All right, let's move it along here. We're going to do a little Saturday shout-out, some of the best performances that we saw today. Maddie, how about this Texas Tech defense and that $7 million defensive line?
$7 million. It's worth $100 million in Lubbock right now, all right? The stock is rising. Total defense in the Big 12, it's first. Rushing, it's first. Passing, it's fifth. Scoring, it's first. And guess what? They did everything that they have done statistically against BYU today. They held BYU to 255 total yards. 67 on the ground. BYU was averaging close to 200 yards a game on the ground. They hold them to 67. BYU 188 through the air. Awesome job there, right? Staying to the standard. And then only allowing BYU into the end zone one single time today. BYU crosses midfield only twice today in this matchup. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, the defense, Jacob Rodriguez, let's go. Send this young man to New York with his mustache. It'll fit perfectly there in Times Square. Mustachio. Let's get him a deal, an NIL deal with pistachios at this point, man.
I like that.
He was awesome.
But you said it right there. The defense for Texas Tech. Now, the offense, that became stagnated throughout the game. Yeah, I get that they were going against a great BYU defense as well. But if you're Texas Tech, you always look for little things to improve in. That offense needs to be more efficient and be able to move the ball down the field because they leaned on their kicker. But, hey, he did his thing.
They scored 28 points, man. I mean, it was good enough, you know.
A lot of those were field goals, though. Your kick had 15 points.
5 for 5, right?
15 points from your kicker is a lot. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
All right. Let's give a second shout out here. And this is from Ole Miss, right? So with them winning by 1 million points in the third quarter, this young couple was in a field goal kicking competition. This young lady thought that her man was a part of the competition.
Look at her face.
Wait, psych. We are going to he's a pole vaulter for the team.
Okay, very good.
So he proposes to his girl, and then Lane Kiffin photobombs him. And now they have a great moment together to remember. And Lane Kiffin is only going to do that while they're just absolutely obliterating the Citadel. But 603 yards of total offense, 333 through the air for Chambliss. There's not much left on the schedule for Ole Miss. And I think for this season, the expectations are about as high as they can get. So shout out to them for their performance, Sam. And I know you've always said that they're going to have a step on a rake moment. And I don't think it's coming up anymore.
Well, not to the Citadel. No knock on the Citadel. But by the way,
he was hoping though.
Yeah.
By the way, I definitely was not hoping. But how great is that? You talk to your kids one day about how we got engaged, right?
Yeah.
Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Lane Kiffin was photobombing us at the engagement. That's pretty cool, right?
Did he kick the field goal? That's what
I don't know. I don't know.
She's one of the same thing. Like, are you gonna kick it or what?
No. He would have missed it. That would have been bad. Yeah, not bad for Ole Miss. And I just want to say, watch out for them in the playoffs because they have every bit of the explosive offense to do something. Now, our third shout out, Sam. Who is that?
Well, all I know is every time I was watching the Texas A&M Missouri game, I looked up. It looked like Texas A&M was breaking off a big run, and that's because they did. 6 rushing plays that went for at least 10 yards today. All told, they have 11 explosive plays that held the Tigers to just 77 pass yards. And this is a Texas A&M team. I'm starting to hear the folks chirping, maybe the best team in the country, and I think there's certainly a debate to be made. At the top of those rankings, Texas A&M, the #1 strength of record so far this season, going on the road. Yes, Missouri with their backup quarterback in there, but when you talk about a balanced team, Texas A&M is certainly up there in that conversation with an Indiana and with an Ohio State. Now, whether or not they deserve to be #1, I think that's up for debate, but no question about it. This is a very balanced team.
Very balanced football team, and I think the biggest takeaway from today was the fact that we've always been discussing, hey, Texas A&M, the offense, like it's not quite clicking all the way. Today I had all of that stuff wiped away, and I think Marcel Reed played his best game of the season.
Great.
He was super crisp. It wasn't like they were making like these unbelievable plays, but it was just like simple, down and distance, consistency, and his composure and the way that he could just throw the football off the back foot, on the move, and manipulate the pocket. Man, Marcel Reed is playing some really good football right now.
Yeah, really balanced football team, and I said it right after the highlight from special teams to the defense to the running game to the passing game. Marcel Reed, they're only going to go as far as he's going to be able to take them, and I think he he definitely has that ability. And when you look at the strength of record metrics, Texas A&M is #1 in the entire country. Maybe we can pop up the no SEC bias here, man. But all I know is we're giving flowers where it's deserved.
There's no SEC bias
right.
here.
That's
Hey,
right.
get out of here. All right.
Well, if you look at Texas A&M's numbers on third down, I think their opponents are converting like 12% of their third down conversions against this defense. It's been really impressive. What's been impressive is the UConn Huskies this year. I grew up a UConn fan watching Dan Orlovsky.
You went to Pepperdine.
I did. No football team, by the way, still undefeated in that category.
We know.
37-34. This was great for the Dukies in town. They got a little taste of the old rent up there in East Hartford. Joey Pignano, 25 touchdowns this year, no interceptions. UConn has lost 3 games this year, all of which in overtime. This team could easily be 10-0. And in the college football playoffs.
Why are you smiling like that, though, as you say that?
They're so close.
Yo, you talk about UConn being in the playoffs, chat. Yeah,
Fighting Jim Morris.
I credit you, though. You find every way possible every week to bring up UConn because you can't bring up Pepperdine. We have as many highlights of Pepperdine as we do Ohio State this year. So.
I'll tell you what, the UConn Huskies have more wins than Florida State against ACC teams over the last 2 years. UConn has won more games against the ACC
You are so proud of that stat.
State.
I love it. Good for you.
That's a fun stat.
That is a good stat. It is.
I'm just saying. All right. Those are our Saturday shout-outs. Please, again, scan that QR code right there on your screen and let us know how great the UConn Huskies are in 2025. All right, time now for Guarantee of the Game presented by AT&T, the #2 team in the country, according to the playoff committee. Indiana was in a battle for their lives against the Nittany Lions today. 13.5-point favorites heading into this one. Came down to a last-minute Heisman-worthy drive orchestrated by Fernando Mendoza. He would find Omar Cooper Jr. in the back of the end zone. Take a look at some of these photos. The catch of the year, and maybe more importantly, though, the win as they improve to 10-0 on the season. Guys, Indiana widely expected to win this game comfortably, but the offense specifically struggled for large portions in the second half. Does winning ugly against a kind of a desperate Penn State team validate their record as an undefeated team, or does it maybe raise some questions, some underlying issues for Indiana?
I mean, the answer is really simple. If you're a hater of Indiana, you got your evidence that you needed today. But the truth is that you keep hating on them. They're not going anywhere for a long time because Cignetti is a legit head coach, and he's, you know, in the right way, kind of crazy, right? And that's what I love about him.
In the best way possible.
In the best way possible. But, hey, we talk about last 2 seasons. Last season and this season, 10 wins. All right, that is so impressive, especially in the Big Ten. I don't care what conference. If you're winning 10 games, you're a really good football team. You're well coached. Hey, let's look at the wins they had last year against those blue chip Big Ten teams. Nebraska, they beat them 56-7. No big deal. Michigan, 20-15. That's a big one. Who else did they beat? The blue chippers there in the Big Ten. Oh,
Oregon.
They beat Penn State. They beat in Oregon, at Iowa, at Penn State. Illinois at home.
Yeah.
So let's hey.
They're not going anywhere.
Should we keep moving the goalposts further away from Indiana, or can we just admit finally that, Indiana, I know we know them as a basketball school, but they are now a football school, and it's going to be that way for a very long time. And you know what? If anything, for all you guys out there that are rooting for teams that maybe aren't used to winning a lot in college football, you find a guy like Cignetti as your coach, you can change just like that, and I wish that success on you.
Yeah, right now in the YouTube chat, the people that have voted, they were asked, can Indiana stay undefeated through the rest of the season? And 63% said yes. 37% said no. I think this win is one of the most impressive ones of the season. I might even say the most impressive one, just for the sheer fact that we've seen Indiana essentially blow out every single team.
Yeah.
And the teams that end up winning in blowouts, they become so accustomed to it. I know the Iowa game was close. I'll also include that in there. But I've also seen Indiana beat teams by an average of 35 points this season, right? And to play these dogfight type of games, it teaches you to win ugly because sometimes you do get in these ugly matchups. And that's exactly what it was. On third down, they struggled. Fernando Mendoza, you see it. The final drive, 5 for 8, 87 yards, 1 touchdown, the game-winning touchdown, but he was struggling before. And when that final drive started, they started on the 20. The reason why it was 87 yards, because he got his bell rang on a sack as soon as the drive started. And then the next play, I'm thinking, listen, he's barbecue chicken at this point. He just unleashes the Kraken.
That's right.
A seed right down the middle.
Unleash the Kraken.
Hey, get out of here. All right, there you go. But yeah, Amari Cooper down the middle on the
incredible.
Seam there. Fantastic throw.
I mean, he's only had, 7 catches the entire season? And
you're talking about Charlie Becker.
Yes. 7
Charlie
catches.
Becker, 2 plays later down the left sideline.
Insane.
Throws that back shoulder. 7 catches on the season. He has 7 today against Penn State. 7 for 118 today, Charlie Becker. Nobody knew who he was, and yet here he is making the big-time play.
I see something in the chat where now I'm going to pose the question to you.
Yeah.
Rivs517, I told you we're in the YouTube chat. He said that was not a Heisman moment because you beat a 3-6 Penn State team and you threw an interception that led to a Penn State touchdown.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
What is your rebuttal?
What are we doing? Did Dante Moore have a Heisman moment with his fade that he hit? I mean, yeah, he did. All right, it was against Iowa. And, I don't care. I don't care. Fernando Mendoza, that moment, Amari Cooper, you can't tell me that's not one of the best plays in college football this year.
Well, how about
It's the best play in football, and for a guy who's up for Heisman, that makes it a Heisman moment. Right?
Rivs, you heard it. To anybody that's in the YouTube chat, if you're going to say something out of pocket, out the side of your mouth, we're going to talk about it. But we love to have you in the conversation.
You're entitled to your opinion, dog. I just don't agree with it.
How teams are perceived is incredibly important. Penn State is perceived to be a quote-unquote bad team this year.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they don't have NFL talent on their roster. And
Say that.
And also, let's not forget who Indiana did not have on the field today. Elijah Surratt.
Yeah.
Who's one of, if not the best wideout in the country.
Right.
10 players could have gone to the NFL on that Penn State football team. They still have the talent on that side. And we need to be able to remember that because they were in the game in the first half against Ohio State, and they were in the game here on the cusp of beating Indiana. I think for Penn State, this was their national championship. Yeah. This is the game that they got up for, and they got everything. They gave everything.
Yeah, they emptied the tank for this one.
To Indiana,
really did. They could tell that early on, hey, we got an opportunity. This is kind of one of those days for us, and Grunkmeyer played very well. I was really impressed with him. I've been really impressed with him since he's taken over as the starting quarterback for Penn State in this offense. But overall, I mean, let's just face it. Indiana's a really good football team, and they beat another really good football team that had high expectations coming to the year, and they haven't lived up to them. Right. But impressive win nonetheless.
Again, we always talk about kind of moving the goalposts, like you said, for this Indiana team. But at some point, let's just understand that this is a very, very good football team and one that will contend for a national title this year, more likely than not. All right, we've already talked about the QR code that was there on your screen. Please holler at us. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to get your questions as well and answer them.
Christina's back in the chat from last week.
Yeah,
I see you in there.
She's not a fan of yours, Scoop.
Scan it.
What you got to say? Scan the QR code,
Let's
Christina.
hear it. Let's hear it.
Keep scanning.
What are they talking about?
Time now to take a look at our top plays from Week 11. We start with Georgia-Mississippi State. Elias Williams uses the 6'7" frame, goes up and makes that acrobatic catch against Mississippi State. 6'7".
Yeah, I mean, you better be able to make that catch. That's a long way down, by the way.
He only had 6 catches coming into this game, by the way. Maybe we want to use him a little more.
From one nice catch to another nice catch. From Omarion Miller. Boulder has a one-handed grab on top plays. Oh, what a catch! And that's the reason why. That guy gets it. Hey, some reason for Colorado to celebrate.
Yeah.
I wish I was as smart as this next guy. Have it. Columbia, 4th and goal. Tipped in the air. Oh, my guy. Seamus getting Martin in the right place at the right time. What a wicked smart cat that guy is for the touchdown.
Really combined the Boston and the Irish accent.
There you go.
Very good. All right, more Ivy League. Dartmouth, Princeton.
Oh, okay.
Ever you throw it over the middle, we know what happens. Their ball tipped. That's Harrison Keith for Dartmouth making the ridiculous one-handed interception.
Like the unis.
How about Sonny Menino, a 6'5", 245-pound QB for the Marist Red Foxes?
Sonny.
He shows what happens when you get a bunch of beef moving. Ain't no stopping it. 49-yard touchdown run. That's a big man. You didn't expect to see the Red Foxes on the show now, did you?
No.
Sonny, the big hedgehog down there for the sideline for the touchdown. That's a nice one.
Great block by somebody down the field right
We got some high school football here, Matty.
High school? Yeah, West Virginia. Akeem Davis for Wheeling Park. Big man gets the INT. Oh, my God.
Speaking of beef moving.
Good luck tackling that guy.
He ain't going very fast.
Moving the pile inch by inch. This is why you get in the weight room, man.
Well done.
All right, hey, guys, it's really simple. Tackle
Oh,
the
my.
legs. And he breaks free. He's still going. Rumbling, stumbling, into the end zone.
Touchdown.
Attaboy, Sammy.
Man,
Sam, you get it.
He fell hard. Those are some of the best of Week 11. How about some of the not-so-hot moments? Tough day for BYU. Quarterback Bear Bachmeier went into hibernation here. Tries to hurdle Texas Tech defender. They're going to make him pay for it, but yeah.
That's like when you press the triangle button by mistake in Madden and you just get laid out. All right, we go to the Big Sky Conference. Eastern Washington trying to get a spike here. 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They need to stop the clock and have a chance to win. All right, Jake Shackle is going to get the opportunity here at the QB position to spike the ball. This is how football goes, but disaster strikes. Have you ever seen somebody fumble the snap when they're attempting to spike? But hey, this is a redshirt freshman. He had over 450 yards passing, and you got to feel for Shackle. Played a great game, but that's what everyone remembers, Jake.
Maybe that's why they actually do line up in shotgun. Don't adjust your televisions. This is not a black and white football game. This is not your daddy's football game in black and white.
I hate this field.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of the gray. It is pretty wild looking, but yes, that is Eastern Michigan's field. That is a touch of gray. It's got 50 shades of gray, just without all the fun play.
Where are all the fans, though? That's my question. All right, time now for the playbook presented by Modelo. Top 10 showdown in Lubbock, Texas earlier today. College game day was in town as well. What a scene that was. Quarterback Baron Morton and that $7 million defensive line
keep it moving.
Did not disappoint. 2,000 fans camped out all week there in Lubbock, Texas, Matty. They showed out, and they showed up to play. A defensive battle in this one. We're going to highlight some of the offense from Baron Morton as well. What do you see on the tape?
Yeah, I wanted to show some defensive plays in the playbook, but my boss, Brian, hey, he doesn't want it. He's like, it's the playbook. It's got to be about offense. No, it doesn't, but we'll get there. I'll eventually win that battle.
Yeah,
all right?
we will. Yeah.
But it's really simple. We get it lined up here with a 12 personnel. We got 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and a running back. We're in the shotgun. You can see by BYU, they're going man-to-man on the outside. They got that single safety guy in the middle right there. You know what? It doesn't matter. Our guy versus their guy, one-on-one, little shimmy at the line. We're just going to run that fade down in that low red zone area. And what I love about the throw by Baron Morton, you can just tell the rhythm. Off the play fake, left, right, plants that right foot in the ground. Beautiful throw into the back corner where only his man could get it. Caleb Douglas on a fantastic catch. The toe tap there. Love this rhythm, though, here. Left foot, then to the right, and just like quarterback, it is a 2-step man. Hey, left, right, he turns into that back foot. Look at the upper body movement. Drives off that right foot, get the hip and shoulder through. Beautiful follow through. Great technique by Baron Morton there.
By the way, folks, this man is playing with a hairline fracture in his fibula.
He's a tough guy. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
okay?
That's the definition of gritty. So the game plan was pretty evident early on, Matty. Kind of get the ball out quick, and I think that's what we saw here on this play.
Yeah, so now we got a little bit of a different look here, right? We kind of have like speed into the boundary here. So that's where BYU, they're going to respect that speed into the boundary. We're going to get a switch release here by the receiver. So they're going to be in and run an in cut here. We're going to run a little wheel route off of that. Okay. And then here to the field with all of this room, we got off corner at the snap, and we're going to get a slant and go. And Baron Morton, very similar again. He's going to take that left-right footwork. He's going to go quick pump. He's going to reset back, get the football in time and in rhythm before this middle safety can make a play. And again, just great execution. Getting across midfield in striking range. You see that little pump fake. Now he's going to do that little shuffle back and throw a beautiful throw over the shoulder there. Great adjustment to the football, too, as well. One-on-one. Man, I love this right here. Let's do a little receiver teach tape here.
Let's see it.
All right, so the first 3 steps, right? Attack, right? Eat up all that space between you and the corner. So 3 steps, good. 8 up space. All right, now what I love about this, you could already see he is stepping that right foot in the ground, and he is going to drive off that inside ball of his right foot. You could already see the exit angle here for him. Right off of the shoulder of the BYU defender there. And man, once he's even, Scooby,
He's leaving.
he's leaving. Deliver the football.
What a sluggo route,
Awesome
man.
throw right there. Gotta love it. Gotta love the old sluggo. It's not a slant. It's not a go. It's a sluggo, Sam.
Sluggo. All right, 39-yard
go.
completion there to Reggie Virgil. That was the longest pass of the day for Baron Morton, but then he capped it off.
He capped it off, and again, another beautiful play call here, which I love. You're going to get a 5-man blitz here by the BYU defense. They're going to let their defensive end drop out and play the running back in man coverage. You know what, though? We love that as quarterbacks because we got our athletic running back against a guy that doesn't like covering people in space. He likes getting after the passer. So BYU trying to be creative, but it don't matter. All right, we're going to attack that guy. They run a little corner here, and then we got an angle out of the backfield. Does this look like a San Francisco 49ers offense right here, this play? I mean, is this Christian McCaffrey? No, it's not, but Baron Morton does a great job finding his man. And you can see again, right, him, right, the running back against that defensive end. I mean, come on now. Come on now.
Forget about it.
Fantastic athlete, but that's not what the man does. He doesn't cover skill guys in space like that. And Baron Morton delivers a fantastic football on that front pack, and he does the rest after that. So great execution by Williams and Baron Morton on that football.
I'm going to say it again. I don't know about you. I've never done anything on a fractured fibula before, but you need some help from your defense if you're going to try and do it against this defense. And for Texas Tech, they got a guy who's pretty good there in the linebacker position, Jacob Rodriguez.
Captain Mustachio, all right? He's got the best stash in the game, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow mine out, too, but it comes out a little bit white trashish, but I'll keep working on it.
We'll find out next week.
We'll find out next week.
But,
you know, hey, for this game, this is what I learned about Texas Tech. It's a good defense in the Big 12. It's a good defense in the SEC. It's a good defense in the Big 10. It doesn't matter. This defense is legit.
It'll play.
And you know what? We're just going to show the disruption here. Not a good situation for Bear to be in, all right? But you know what? Bear's strong. Bear wears 47. Bear going to take a big hit right here, and he's going to eat it, and it's not good. And then tips and overthrows. Jacob's like,
hit those.
I'm going to do it for myself, a tip to myself. Great concentration. Did you see what happened to the BYU receiver that Bear was trying to hit it to? Oh my God. So that's what the Red Raiders were doing. They were setting him up, and they were knocking him down defensively. And Jacob Rodriguez, Captain Mustachio, all right, hey, let's go. Let's send him to New York. Let's get some defensive blood, right, a part of that Heisman journey right here. But great job by Jacob, following the eyes of the quarterback. Look at the speed of this defense, too, just collapse on this throw. If it wasn't Rodriguez, the receiver is getting decapitated anyway. The physicality of the Texas Tech Red Raiders showed out, play in and play out in this one today.
14 tackles for Rodriguez today, including that interception, also had a tackle for loss. But, man, this Texas Tech team right now in pole position in the Big 12 race. They're off to their best 10-game start since Michael Crabtree was doing stuff there in 2008. So
yes, sir.
Red Raiders are a team to watch, no doubt about it. That was the playbook presented by Modelo. Thank you, Matty.
Thank you, Blood.
ACC darling Virginia Cavaliers hosting first-year head coach Jake Dickert and the Demon Deacs of Wake Forest. The Who's less than a touchdown favorite in this one. We'll find out why. Watch along with us. Jamari Taylor gets a start there. Virginia up 3-0. Chandler Morris on the scramble takes a nasty hit there.
Man.
He would be slow to get up, would not return in this one. The game would go to Daniel Palin, the backup quarterback. But first, Virginia sending the punt deep. Carlos Hernandez going to take this one to the house. 88 yards for the touchdown. Wake Forest going to jump in front in this defensive battle, 7-6. Late in the second. That was a huge turn of events there where Virginia could have gone to the half with the lead. Instead, it's Wake Forest. Jump ahead to the fourth. Field goal unit on. Connor Calvert converts on a 49-yard field goal. Demon Deacs lead 7 over Virginia 16-9. Virginia trying to come back like they have done so many times before this season, but on that fourth down pass, it's incomplete. Wake Forest takes down number 14 Virginia, 16-9.
Yeah,
and the fans
it's not great for the ACC, man.
You can only win close so many times before some team comes up and gets you, and that was Wake Forest here, 16-9. Virginia takes their first conference loss of the year. Remember, they had the non-conference loss to a conference opponent, NC State, earlier on in the year. Really, really interesting. But by the way, the ACC race got a whole lot more complicated with not only number 14 Virginia going down, guys, but also Louisville going down to Cal in overtime. JKS.
4th and goal.
Pass complete to Kendrick Raphael, the game winner. They decided to go for 2 in that overtime instead of trying to play for a second overtime. Turned out that it was a good call.
Yeah.
And Cal gets the massive win there, 29-26. This conference.
More drama for the ACC.
Oh boy. We're going to talk a little about that in just a bit. But man alive, this conference is
Christian is saying the ACC is done. ACC out the playoffs. We'll talk about that, and we'll break it down real soon in the show. And then shout out to Harry Douglas, Louisville alum. We got Matt Sims here, also a Louisville guy.
Also a Louisville guy. And you know what? I agree with Harry. Sagapolitelli made some throws today that were just so amazing. I just love the way this kid plays. And yeah, his poise and awareness, I mean, it was really unbelievable.
You know what's interesting? We can talk about this in the ACC segment a little bit. Like, the ACC has a lot of very good teams, but no elite teams. So I feel like that's part and parcel as to why the conference has been shaken up so much. But there's a Wake Forest team that can come up and get you, a Cal team that has the offense to come and get you on any given day. So we'll talk a little about that more. But let's talk a little LSU Alabama too.
Yeah, because you can get caught in the SEC as well, as the Tigers went up against a 4th-ranked team in the country in the Alabama Crimson Tide. Starting the second quarter because there wasn't much offense on either side. Alabama at LSU's 4-yard line, and Daniel Hill just punches it in over here. Touchdown. Alabama goes up 10-3. You go to later on in the quarter. Check out this throw from Ty Simpson to Ryan Williams.
Bro.
Tight window dart. What? Bama goes up 17-3.
Look at this.
Just take another look at it.
Best QB in the country. It's not even close. It's not even close, dog. All right, you see that middle safety? He was backpedaling, threw it away from the middle safety, the most dangerous guy that can make the play there. High back shoulder in the back of the end zone.
Backpedaling, too.
Man, that's old school. That's like 80s NFL football right there.
Nussmeier would get benched. 4th quarter.
Some trend.
Now they have Michael Van Buren because they couldn't get anything going on offense.
You're
and
right.
the same thing continued to happen here.
Yeah.
Van Buren fumbles. London Simmons recovers. And this wasn't much of a highlight for this game, but once again, it's one of those dogfights. I always say a team, one of the most dangerous teams are the ones that are coming off the week where they have just fired their head coach. And that was LSU. This LSU defense has not been the problem for them all season. It has been the offense. Grant Nussmeier benched in this game.
Yeah.
The LSU defense kept them in it and did everything that they pretty much could against the Alabama team that really has one of the most explosive offenses in the country.
They played great. The secondary was awesome. I feel like they were all over a lot of the concepts that Alabama typically is very successful in. The one highlight that I feel like we were missing there was that deep pass from Ty Simpson to Latsier Brooks, which was probably one of the most beautiful throws of the day, other than Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, I know. All right, I'm not going to talk about.
Dante Morris was pretty good too, but yeah.
You know what? You're absolutely right. That was another good one too. So those 3 guys really did a phenomenal job today. But man, Yancy Pierre, the defensive end for Alabama, he is a guy to me like stock is rising really fast. 2 sacks in the day. He's the one that forced that fumble here late in the football game. He has been just an unbelievable guy that has emerged on the defensive side to go along with guys like Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson have been played phenomenal. We know how good that secondary has been playing. Hubbard, again, forced fumble all over it, creating havoc. There's Nakai Hill-Green. He had another good day today at the linebacker position. So this defense really starting to figure it out and play physical. And, man, they are a dangerous football team going forward because even with Ty Simpson, his struggles offensively today, if you want to call him that, the defense was all over it and making it very difficult for Garrett Nussmeier to play.
The effort to establish the run was relatively empty for Alabama today as well.
Yeah.
So that remains a concern for this team. I think.
Only 56 yards rushing for Alabama in this game. And that's been the talk all season. I've been waiting for Jam Miller to kind of be that guy, only 8 carries for 13 yards in this game. Hill had 7 carries for 21 yards.
And how about the QB sneak early in the game on 4th and 1? I mean, listen, I love Ty Simpson.
As a runner, yeah.
But he has 2 toothpicks as legs. I don't expect him to drive through anything on a 4th.
Never mind that defense.
Give it to Jam Miller or to Hill. Let guys with some strong quads get in there in short yardage situations.
But this, once again, it goes back to what I said. You got to be able to win these games because you're going to get to a certain point in the season or in the playoffs where your offense just isn't clicking. And then one side of the ball is going to depend on the other side of the ball just a little bit more. And the defense was able to hold it down for Alabama. And I'm looking in the chat right now, and I understand that this win can make you look at this team and say, all right, like Alabama is suspect. They lost to Florida State as well at the beginning of the season, and Florida State is looking even worse and worse as the season goes along. So this Alabama team shouldn't be ranked as high. So if somebody says that like they are in the chat, I'm watching, what would your response be?
What would my response be to them being ranked as high as they are? Listen, the week 1 loss to Florida State, throw that out the window. Just like throw
it a preseason game.
Yeah,
right?
and honestly, it really is in a lot of ways. Yeah. And now I'm not like taking credit away from Florida State and how they played that day. Listen, they out-hit Alabama. They were all over them. I get that. But I got to talk more about like relevancy and like what's happening now as we watch these games play. I see the best quarterback in the country in Ty Simpson, and I see an offense that, yeah, you can keep them down, and that's what they did for the majority of the game, LSU, with their unbelievable secondary, because it is one of the best secondaries in college football. Right. But when it came down to it, Ty Simpson made some big-time throws when they needed him most.
Well, also, how about we do this in reverse? Should LSU be ranked higher because they went on the road and got a win against a Clemson team to start the year?
Right.
And they were ranked at the top of in the AP poll at number 3. Like, should we all of a sudden have them at 25? Like, things change as the season goes on.
And not only that, Alabama went through a gauntlet of going against ranked teams after ranked teams after ranked teams. They beat Georgia and snapped a win streak that they have had on that field of over 30 games.
Right.
Now, this Alabama team, it's not just about, like, the scores towards the end of the game, like we're going to look at this one and say, oh, this LSU team, they just fired their head coach. You also got to look at the tape, look at what they've done throughout the whole season. Ty Simpson is playing some of the best ball at the quarterback position. I think him and Julian Sain are right up there in terms of just accuracy and throwing the ball well and playing within the system. This LSU defense did a really good job at just being disciplined. Ryan Grubb was in his bag per usual, and he was showing us some misdirection. He was trying to do some direct snaps, and they were disciplined and played great defense on that side of the ball. And I think at times teams are going to play towards their ceiling or play towards their floor. I think 2 teams today that we typically don't see play towards their ceiling, especially on the defensive side of the ball, was Penn State and LSU. They played these games as though it was their national championship. They showed up for it, and you got to be able to take the punches sometimes in a boxing match and play defense. And that's the beauty of the game. It's not all about, oh, we're going to be the ones throwing the punches. Sometimes you're going to get hit. You have to be able to take what's given to you and respond.
Especially as we get to the month of November, right, Maddie? And you said it, perfectly. It's survive in advance time in college football. But let's spin things forward a bit. Talk about conference championship races. As we all know, conference titles take on a new importance in the era of the expanded playoff, with champions of the top leagues having a pretty good chance at one of those automatic bids. Automatic buys. So let's talk about the SEC a little bit more. Crowded at the top, as you see, but you see A&M and Alabama kind of in pole position for that SEC championship. A&M obviously has the edge there. Bama, as we mentioned, with the 1 loss on their ledger to Florida State at the start of the year.
Right.
I want to talk about this conference as a whole and their potential to get 5 teams into the college football playoff. We saw with the committee and how they valued this conference, putting, 5 or 6 teams in the top 20 of the rankings. So the likelihood of this conference getting 4 is over 97%.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about a 5th team, Oklahoma or Texas are probably in that conversation. But
and that's going to be solved here pretty quickly with Oklahoma's remaining schedule, Bama, Missouri, and LSU. We're going to find out a lot about them in the next 3 weeks. And then the same thing with Texas. Really, their fate will be decided next week against UGA, right? And how they look in that matchup. And, right now, I got to see it to really kind of buy into it. I think the top 3 teams there in the SEC are the 3 best teams in the conference right now. I think the others are like, there's a lot to like about each one of them, and they all have kind of a different style that fits well. But Texas A&M and Alabama, to me, are like, I definitely can trust that football team. Georgia, I know the defense isn't quite what it used to be, but man, Gunnar Stockton, I just have faith that in a critical moment, he's going to make the big-time play for them when they need it. So I think the top 4 there are easy, right? Like, they should be in it. The top 3, more importantly, though, I feel like are like the cream of the crop of this conference
so
right now.
Between Texas, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma, we went through the All-State Playoff Predictor. Everybody tune in on Tuesday. We have rankings, reactions right after the rankings are released, and we give you the percentages of the likelihood of these teams getting in. Vanderbilt is a team that you can look at and say, okay, that was a big win for them today. Can they get in the playoffs? They only have 2 games left. The tough one left on their schedule is Tennessee on the road.
Yep.
Right? And they've pretty much beat everybody else in front of them. 2 tough losses. That is against Texas, and that is, of course, against Alabama in a game where they had 2 turnovers in the red zone. I think they have an opportunity to make the playoffs as well if they're a 2-loss SEC team. It's hard to keep that out. And then Texas, it's a little bit tougher for them. They got Georgia next week, and then they close out the season against Texas A&M. It's tough for me to foresee them winning both games, but let's just say they somehow lose one of those and split, and then somebody else does something. Like, could Texas be in the conversation of being a 3-loss team making it into the playoffs? It's fascinating with the SEC because towards that back end of that 5th team, anybody could have a say and a creative argument to make it.
I think the committee has set up Texas to be that 3rd-loss team that still makes the playoff by what they did in the first round of the rankings. I think that's very telling, and I look forward to kind of seeing how that plays out. If they end up losing to a Georgia, what that response is to them in the rankings.
The Texas A&M game is going to be everything for them.
It is.
Because everyone, all the analytics, the metrics, whatever, it has Texas A&M as the number 1 team in the country, right? They look at those things. And if Texas, let's just say, beats them at the end of the season, we have recency bias as humans, and it's going to be a tough one to look at, man.
Wins and losses mean a lot more in this month. We have found that out to be the case over the last several seasons, really since the committee has come into place. So while the SEC is kind of crowded at the top, it really has been Alabama and Texas A&M as the 2-man show there. Same could be said for the Big Ten. Indiana and Ohio State, the lone undefeateds there in this conference. Seems like a collision course between these two for the race to Indianapolis this year, but there are still quite a few teams in the hunt for that potential 3rd playoff spot. Maddie, just your overall thoughts on the Big Ten and what we've seen through 11 weeks of college football.
I trust the top 2 teams, Indiana, Ohio State, wholeheartedly. There's no doubt in my mind about those teams at all. Oregon, young football team. Man, this is a big-time win today. I'm really impressed, too, with Dan Lanning and Will Stein just saying, hey, this is what it is. It's an ugly game. We're going to run the football. We're going to win it that way. I think that's a huge growth moment for that football team to win a physical game like that across the country with crappy weather. Really impressive. I think Oregon's a year away from being a real championship contender, right? To actually win it all. With a Dante Moore with another year of experience, I think the top 2 teams are easy to go
so
for championship.
this is Christian in the he's been cooking you in the chat, and
that's fine.
We've brought this up for you to be able to answer his question.
Right.
Go ahead and take a look. He said, and since Matt is so heavy on Indiana, which we aren't moving the goalpost on, they don't play a tough schedule enough to be respected if they get bumped out the playoffs.
You know, my man, Christian, you didn't listen to the show then early on the day because I just went through the entire Big Ten conference and they beat every single team within the conference in the past 2 years except for Ohio State. And you know what? Other teams in the conference have that same issue. They can beat everybody except for Ohio State. So I understand that, like, listen, maybe moving the goalposts is a little aggressive, but the truth is just like, you know, enough with it already. I'm tired of it. Last year, like, I get it. It was funny. You know, Indiana, weak schedule, all that. We've seen enough now. We have enough evidence as football fans to know that it's legit. You don't get lucky 2 years in a row winning 20 games. I mean, come on.
And
now.
by that point margin that they've averaged over the last several years. I do think that there is a question to be asked about Indiana as it pertains to, like, the elite teams. There's no question this is a very, very good Indiana team, but Are they going to win a game in the college football playoff
So I guess
this year?
the real question, right, that we're answering for Christian is that maybe Christian realizes that the Big Ten isn't as good as a conference as maybe people thought it was going
Which is
into the
fair.
season.
That's
So that's a whole other debate.
I think that's Christian's point here. And by the way, Christian, we love how you're in here every single week. You're active in the chat.
Love it.
Continue to do that. Subscribe, like, please. We enjoy everybody.
And eviscerate our comments.
Yeah. But I think that's a great point. Maybe that the Big Ten isn't as good as we think it is, because a rebuttal that I'll have is, who has Ohio State really beat, right? And then we have them as the
We're still
number one
the
team in the
Texas
country.
win from September, right?
And that Texas game was 14-7.
Yeah.
This was a Texas offense that really was not great at all for the first half of the season.
Right.
And you opened the season early on, Arch Manning for his first true road game against a really good defense in Ohio State.
And we've learned that Matt Patricia is like legit as a D coordinator for them, and this unit has got playmakers all over it. And that's where, like, Ohio State, we're going to learn a lot about Indiana, right? Because it does seem like they're on a crash course right now in the Big Ten championship game. The question is, right, is there 4 teams? No, I don't think so. It's a 3-league race right now. And really with Oregon, we'll see too as well. They got a few tough ones at the end.
All right, very good. So that's the SEC and the Big Ten. Let's move over to the Big 12.
Yeah.
You could make the case, based on what the committee has told us, that they are in a good position to send possibly 2 teams to the college football playoff. But did the way BYU lost today change our minds about how we view this conference as a whole in a potential 2-bid league?
Unfortunately, I think BYU losing will affect the committee going forward, and it will affect how many teams the Big 12
Because how they lost wasn't good either.
Because how they lost wasn't good. This is an offense that statistically has been kind of average for the entire season. Now, the running game has been awesome and spectacular, but everything else is...
They're limited.
They're limited. I would agree with that. The defense, I think, is obviously very opportunistic. I wouldn't say that it's one of the better units even in that conference. All right, they've made some big plays when they needed to, but I do believe that Texas Tech is by far the best chance the Big 12 has of making not just like being a participant, but actually making a run within the playoffs. And that's really now what we're getting into.
Right. All right,
it's not about participating. It's
according to
about
ESPN analytics going into the game, there was a 49% chance that these 2 teams would see each other in the Big 12 championship game, as they both had a 70% chance to make it towards AT&T Stadium. So we could still see these 2 teams run it back in the Big 12 championship game, and I think it's tough to say which one would need to lose. I guess
Texas Tech?
Let's say BYU loses. They already have one loss, right? Let's say they make it to the championship game and they lose against Texas Tech
to the same team?
Twice.
No, they're not.
I think they're out.
They're out.
I think the one way
but let's say it's a close one. Let's say it's
what
a close
if BYU wins, though, over Texas Tech?
But then Texas Tech has 2 losses.
They have 2 loses. I don't know. Like, do you say, hey, we beat the conference champion?
Yeah.
Does that give us enough to get through?
That's a good point. Because that makes it very difficult. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I love chaos. And I just thought of a chaotic situation. So I'm like,
Dr. Doom over here.
Ooh, that makes me really excited. Like, if we could get this rematch and then all of a sudden BYU ends up winning that game, but then Texas Tech can say, but we beat that champ, and then BYU, man.
You'd have to tell me
Texas Tech has 2 losses.
Right.
You'd have to tell me how Arizona State did the rest of the year.
That's a good point, too.
Answer that question.
Okay, that's a good point,
Like, is Arizona State finished 3rd in the conference, or did they finish 6th?
Okay.
That would maybe answer that question.
Towards the end of the season, we start to put a magnifying glass on these teams and how they've performed in other matchups. I mean, the first couple months of the season, it was sloppy for BYU. They fell behind against a couple of teams. That is in Iowa State, Colorado,
Damn near their
Arizona.
whole season has been like this. They're kind of the Virginia of the Big 12, honestly, in a lot of ways.
They've snuck right by. So you could have an argument of like, well, they really just snuck into this opportunity at this point. So
that's a good point.
We asked you to submit some questions, and you have. So let's get to one here regarding the ACC and the conference championship race. How will the ACC championship game shake up with Georgia Tech, UVA, Pitt, SMU, and Duke, all with 1 conference loss? Duke has 4 losses on the season. However, only one of those is in conference play. Duke will get UVA, I believe, next week. So that could shake out some things there between those 2. But, yeah, man, this is an incredibly interesting race, and it got even more interesting with the losses today for Louisville
Shout out to our production team, by the way, because we got this information literally like
5 seconds ago.
Yeah, and already we have it as a graphic. Shout out to y'all, man.
So here's what you got. The percentages for each of these teams and the odds to make the conference title game. This is maybe the most fascinating conference. I think
crazy.
For a lot of different reasons. But
it's a one-team conference.
Okay, but hold on. Georgia Tech has Georgia on their schedule.
Correct. Georgia Tech can beat Georgia, lose in the ACC championship game, and they're still going to be out.
No, if you beat Georgia, you got to make it.
So.
If you beat Georgia, you got to make it.
Did you see the way that Heather looked at us the other day when she said that?
She said she didn't think Georgia Tech would win the game.
That's a good point. That's real. But still, she was kind of like, nah, it ain't going to happen. So that kind of tells me, like, reading between the lines of, like, discussions she has had with other people in the committee, that makes me concerned.
So the NC State loss drags them down that much?
I don't think that it does, but I'm saying in the eyes of the committee, I think it will. Yes, I would say that.
In my eyes.
Because I love Georgia Tech.
No, I know.
You know. There's a spot in my heart for Haynes King.
I just think those cancel each other out. Wouldn't a Georgia win cancel out a bad loss?
See, you're thinking too logically. This is the only way the committee does. It's not
the way that it
logic.
works.
Yeah, it's not. I think the ACC is a one-and-done crew. I do.
And it's interesting because they did have teams ranked higher than some of the Big 12 teams that were ranked on the back end behind them.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, and shout out to Rivs in the chat. You've been pretty active over there, and he saw that Duke was one of the teams second to win the ACC,
which is crazy.
Made the ACC title game, and they just lost to UConn.
They did lose to UConn. They lost to Illinois.
But listen, that was not an ACC title game. We're talking about. It wasn't even an ACC matchup. Excuse me, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
It's about your conference wins and losses if you're going to make it into the title game. And even though it's not a great loss
it's just
to lose towards UConn, you could still have an opportunity to play in the title game, which, by the way, if you win your title game, you are going to the playoffs.
I know this happened last year, the committee opting to not penalize teams that play in their conference championship games and lose that game.
We're not going to see that this year.
You don't think so?
No, I don't, because I think they saw the game like with SMU, right?
Yeah.
And just how they performed in the first round of the playoffs against Penn State, and like that's one of those things. I just think they're going to have a hard time forgetting about stuff like that. So that's why, again, like I'm just going to triple down, quadruple down. The ACC is getting one. Getting one.
But they're best.
Heather said the same thing, though. It just feels like a one.
The Big 12 might get one. We might get 6 SEC teams.
Here we go.
Oh, you hear that?
Here we go.
Wait. Throw up the gift, Brian. You know what I want. You know what I want us to see of this man. Where is it?
I'm just messing with you in the chat too.
No
SEC bias
That's
here.
Right.
No.
But he said there's going to be 6.
I went to Louisville. All right. I went to Louisville.
Let's finish up our show here with our final question. Then we'll talk a little bracket here. But who are your predictions to make the college football playoff national championship, and why? Predictions to make the national championship. Game. Well, we got a great answer for you. We're going to talk about it in our college football show bracket. Now, we have updated it to what we believe will potentially be what we see on Tuesday when the rankings come out. There's going to be some debate probably as to who is the highest ranked Group of 5 team. At the back end there, James Madison or South Florida with Memphis losing. But here's what we got, guys. What do we think about our bracket here?
I think it's super exciting. I love it. I love some of these matchups. Oklahoma, Texas Tech, reliving some old school Big 12 matchups from back in the day, so that's exciting. Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, defense will absolutely be optional that day. Oregon, Notre Dame. Oregon, the way they won today, would love to see that rushing attack take on the Notre Dame rushing attack of Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. And South Florida, Georgia, that'll be a fun matchup too.
All right. So let's go through the bracket the same way that we did last week.
Hold on. I just have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So Oregon was 9 last week.
Right.
They got a win on the road.
Yeah.
And we think they're going to stay at 9 potentially, not going to jump anybody because of the teams ahead of them all got wins?
I think they will move up. I think they will.
Especially BYU lost.
Yeah, with BYU being out, right? I think BYU now is out. Texas Tech, Oregon, all those teams move up into that bracket now.
Okay, so maybe we see Oregon a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Do we see Oregon jump? They stay at number 9, right? I don't know.
Texas Tech got the win, so they're at 7. BYU was 8 last week. BYU lost, so we moved Notre Dame up from 10 to the 8 spot.
That's right.
And Oregon stays at 9. Go ahead.
And we had this correct right before, right? With Oklahoma being in the 10 spot, they were the first one out last week. Okay, all right, just making sure.
So let's take a peek at some of the resumes here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, who do we want to compare resumes with?
Oh, that's cool. I know we could do that.
Let's do it with Texas A&M as an example.
Okay.
All right, so overall, right, strength of schedule, 14th to 26th, all right, remaining just about even. So they both got a pretty good run here towards the end. Chance to make it, 93 to 76. Chance to win the conference. That's amazing that for Texas A&M, it's still only 15% by where it is right now, so that just tells you how deep that conference is. But overall, man, yeah, kind of shocked that actually the comparison was pretty close there between these two football teams.
All right, so if we're gonna go through it over here, I got the chat up here just to make sure we're still talking with y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna agree that we're gonna put Georgia here, so we're gonna have the Georgia-Alabama matchup in
we
the
haven't gotten enough of
quarterfinals.
those the last
We love that.
couple
Okay, Oregon, Notre Dame. Who wins this ball game? Because
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I think Notre Dame, but that's a good game.
Yeah, because Notre Dame is like a better Iowa team, right? They would have the quarterback play that could take them past Oregon. If anybody else disagrees with that in the chat, let us know. All right, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, they have more firepower. I agree with you there. Oklahoma, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
All right.
That's a great. Take the under in that game.
Take the under in that game, and that's really why I took Texas Tech, though. I think just like if Baron Morton can make it to this moment and be healthy and all that, I just think John Mateer, too much hero football despite how good Oklahoma is.
I don't know how fast it takes for a fractured fibula to heal, but I would imagine
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to be quick.
For the playoffs.
Yeah,
no.
So.
All right, so we got Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Indiana. The quarterfinals, no matter how you shake it up, is going to be a movie. Georgia versus Alabama. We do this every single week. Who is going to win this game?
All right, you go first. All right,
let me go ahead and switch it up because last week we went a different way. I like how this team looked this week over how they look. So we're going to go with a little bit of recency bias.
Okay.
All right, Notre Dame versus Ohio State.
Ohio State, best team right now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
You got to rematch for the title game. I mean, in the quarterfinals. There,
I love
That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right,
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Like no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
You don't think this offense has what it takes? If let's say we get into a shootout, which quarterback?
Oh, it's going to be a shootout.
Which quarterback? Can we do the comparison here?
No, I love Trinidad Chambliss. I do. He's one of my favorite stories, I think, of the season. But I think I have just seen more week in and week out from Texas A&M where I just trust them more. The strength of schedule, right, that we've already had.
That's what I was going to bring up.
The strength of schedule remaining, right? We're going to see Texas A&M take on a Texas team at the end of the year. So I think that just overall trust factor, I think I trust the Texas A&M guys, especially on the defensive side of the football with Cassius Howell, with Torian York, and the rest of the crew, right, to be able to win this football game.
I don't hate it.
Shout out to Ribs. He said Ohio State versus Texas A&M would feed generations. Let's see if we get there.
But yeah, Texas
We're going to take
for
Texas A&M to go there, so you have that right call. Texas Tech versus Indiana. Where are we going there?
All right. Healthy Baron Morton. Give me Texas Tech to win that game against Indiana.
Wow.
After all
the hyping up of Indiana, they lose their first playoff game is what you're telling me, Matt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know what? Next week,
Christian was right.
Get out of here. You know what? That's it. Never mind. Indiana's going to win it all. All right.
All right, so we're going to compare this to the Indiana, right?
Just for fun.
Man. I mean, Indiana.
Big 12's not getting a ton of
look
love,
at this week A strength of schedule overall. 19th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm crazy, huh? Let's go Indiana and Bama.
Compare it to Bama?
Yeah.
All right, so we bring up Indiana and Bama in terms of their strength of schedule. Christian wanted us to do this, so Christian, we hear you. All right, Alabama.
Look at this.
Strength of schedule remaining is.
Look at. I mean, I don't see that much of a difference. I mean, I don't. Yeah, overall, I get it, right, because of just what they've gone through this season. But They haven't played anybody? I don't know. I mean, clearly the stats aren't that profound.
They haven't played anybody argument's getting a little bit tiring with Indiana. But,
yeah.
All right, let's pick the semifinals.
Okay,
Georgia versus Ohio State. Who we going with there? Let me see if the chat is saying anything. I don't see anything. Chat, go ahead and
Gunnar
jump in.
Stockton's been awesome, no doubt about it. Against this Ohio State defense, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Ohio State is going to get after it. They're going to be able to.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Julian saying against a Kirby Smart defense, do you really think he's going to find that much success?
I'm not even worried about Julian saying. I think that Ohio State's defense will score more points than Georgia, honestly. Now, that's a bold statement, honestly. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right,
that's where I'm worried, because I think Julian saying is, you give Kirby Smart some time to plan for this. You're going to go against that defense. Now, this Georgia team has been tested over and over and over again.
That's right.
I think Kirby Smart, a guy who is gone against the greatest of the greats. This Georgia team will be ready for the Matt Patricia defense, if you would say so, because Georgia is going against similar defenses like Ohio State every single week in the SEC.
I gotcha. I think Georgia will have a tough time covering those 3 receivers that they got. And I think Ohio State, by the time this matchup comes around, offensively, will have all those questions answered.
Some people think that the Dogs won't make it that way. Some people think that they will. I see everyone in the chat. Okay, Texas A&M, Texas Tech.
The battle for Texas, I'm good with that. I agree with
Texas A&M.
Yeah. All right. So last week we had Ohio State-Notre Dame rematch, correct?
Yeah, Notre Dame was at the 10 spot, though. They had a bit of an easier path, I think, last week with some of their matchups. I mean, facing off against Ohio State in your next round isn't great, but that's the 9-8 battle. That's what you're always going to have to deal with the 1 seed there.
So you said, though, the chat was saying they thought Alabama would have got Georgia here? And we would have seen Alabama, or is that what you're saying?
Some people said that Georgia will go all the way. Some people said no way Georgia goes that far.
See, that's another thing too, though, because I know it's not the Georgia team we're used to seeing, but it's just take care of business.
I got to imagine that Stockton playing in the college football playoff last year too has some sort of effect on him going back and maybe not being overwhelmed in this sort of state.
And he's improved dramatically.
And he has.
All right, I'm going to give the chat about 5 to 10 seconds to go ahead, send some messages in here. Who you think would win this game, Ohio State or Texas A&M? Let's go ahead and make our cases here. Now, once again, a defense in Texas A&M. Will they be able to stop what is those receivers in Ohio State, right? We can compare their schedules. What do we think, guys?
Let's do their resumes,
Yeah, let's put it up.
Just
All
curious.
Right. There you go. Wow. So strength of schedule overall, the remaining.
I mean, look at this. Who has been tested more? This right here maps it out for you. 34th, 43rd for Ohio State, and then you got 14th and 19th for Texas A&M.
Doesn't Indiana have a better resume than them?
Yeah, they surely do.
All right. So maybe they're the number 1 team in the country. Maybe Texas is the number 2. Texas A&M is the 2 team in the country. Maybe Ohio State's number 3.
There is a great argument to be made. Yeah.
All right. Who wins it though? All right. Who are you going with, Sam? Who are you going to take to win this game?
I'm picking Ohio State to repeat. Yeah.
Ohio State to repeat. Yeah. Okay. What Julian's saying, first-year starter, that would be super impressive. Yeah. Scoop, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with the championship team already. Ohio State is gonna run it back.
I don't think they've played their best football yet. That's the scary part about this team.
That's true.
The only thing that I'm worried about them for is they haven't been forced to reach that gear and been tested. I brought it up earlier in the show.
I think that's a real thing. I agree.
I brought it up in the show how sometimes you just need to go through these dogfight type of games.
Yeah.
The dogfight game that they've been on is at the beginning of the season against Texas, and then a little bit of Penn State.
Right.
So I wonder what this Michigan game will do for them. And then the Big Ten championship will be huge as well.
Yep. The dogfights are important, but the other aspect for Ohio State too is that we're healthy and we feel great, and let's just keep it rolling.
So Maddie, who do you like? You like Ohio State too?
I'm taking Texas A&M.
You've been outvoted. You're out
2-1.
Yeah, you're outvoted.
Well, thank you.
So we'll
Hunger Game style. Just
Ohio State. We're taking Ohio State. Let's make some game picks for Week 12 here. First, we'll look back at Week 11.
Oh, hey!
He's spitting fire too.
Come on now.
Spitting fire. 14-6. How about
14-6? Just like that.
All right, let's make some picks.
Well, he made the pick of the week, right? He picked Oregon.
He picked Oregon. We both picked Iowa.
Man, I win.
All right, we got Texas going between the hedges next week, fellas. Texas and Georgia.
Hey, Georgia.
What do you think?
Give me the dogs, baby.
Based on our bracket, I'm going to save us all some time. We picked Georgia. We all picked Georgia to win this game.
Oh, we did? Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, it shows you I'm paying attention to the rundown.
Played some great ball right now.
We all picked Georgia.
All
right, let's go. We got one more. We're picking Oklahoma and Alabama. This is an interesting one to me.
Oklahoma.
I'm going against the grain here.
You see that smirk on his face? Yes, he is.
Are you
He's doing that.
Yeah,
he's going
There's
there.
no way. There's
Why?
no way.
Why? Why
We
are you
could
going
put
with
money on
Oklahoma?
it, dog.
Because just as quickly as Mateer can lose Oklahoma a game, he can also win them a game. And I do think that
They
Oklahoma's
can't
defense
run the
is a little
ball.
bit better.
They can barely throw the football.
Alabama can't run the ball either.
That's
a good
right.
point.
But,
That's a
you
good
know,
point.
they do throw it for like almost 300 every game.
Yes, and Oklahoma's secondary was exposed a little bit to Ole Miss, but I think
You still feel good about that,
I don't feel
as we
great
go
about
through
that
this
aspect of
exercise?
things. I think Oklahoma can get to the quarterback a little bit quicker, maybe.
I mean, listen, I'm in last place. So
They
I
can
really
get
should
to
be
the
talking
quarterback.
so
You're right.
confidently,
They've had a game this year with
I don't
10
know what the
sacks.
spread is for this game, but I think it's going to be close. Let me put it that way. If we were picking like against the spread, I would have picked Oklahoma to cover the number. Put it that
All right,
way.
now that's different. That's
We're not
different.
picking that, so I had to
we're
pick
not
them
picking-
outright.
You
So.
picked them outright,
Yeah.
and your case was you believe the defense, and you think Mateer is going to do his thing.
I think he can. He's certainly capable of it.
Ty
so.
Simpson, Heisman race will continue,
Yeah.
right, against that Oklahoma
Okay,
defense.
very good. Scoop, you picked Bama too, right? You were on the Bama team.
Roll Tide.
All right, very
You
good.
hear me? It's like, very good. Shut up, guys.
All right,
Stop talking.
that's going to do it for us here in Week 11. Thank you all so much for watching the College Football Show presented by AT&T. We'll see you next week on Week 12. Also, tune in Tuesday night. We got rankings reaction.
Oh, that's right.
Part 2.
Yeah.
So we'll be back after
wanna
the
talk some more
the
ball?
rankings are announced. So.
See us Tuesday.
We'll see you Tuesday, y'all. Be good.
Y'all.